our respected dignitaries, faculty members, and my friends. Dr. Rabat Devi Nandinini to kindly come on stage and deliver the welcome address.
Hello everyone. Let me start with women have always been the silent architects of society, shaping families, communities, and future of our world. So good afternoon to one and all present here. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all to the Women's Day celebration organized by Gopalan School of Architecture and Planning. And on behalf of GSAP, I extend a very warm welcome to our distinguished guests, respected faculty members, staff, dear students, and ladies and gentlemen who are gathered here today to celebrate this special occasion. International Women's Day is a moment to celebrate the strength, resilience, and achievements of women across the world. Women today are making remarkable contributions in every sphere of life, right from education and science to business, leadership, and the built environment. It is also a day that reminds us of the importance of empowering women through education, opportunity, and leadership so that they continue to inspire and transform the society. At Gopalan School of Architecture and Planning, we believe in nurturing creativity, critical thinking for producing responsible professionals who contribute to the society. At this juncture, I would like to acknowledge the vision of our founder, Shri Gopalan Sir, whose entrepreneurial spirit and passion for creating landmark projects here have contributed significantly to the built environment. His commitment to quality and excellence continues to inspire the institutions established under the Gopalan Foundation. We are equally grateful to Dr. Prabhakar and Mr. Pramod, whose continued leadership and guidance carry forward this vision and strengthen the growth of Gopalan institutions in the field of education. We are privileged to have with us today Ms. Sunita Prabhakar. I'm sorry, but she was not able to come because she was unwell. She is the director of Gopalan Foundation, whose encouragement and leadership continue to inspire the institutions under the foundation. We are truly grateful, although she is not here today on this occasion. It is indeed a great honor for us to welcome our chief guest, Architect Gayatri Shetty, who is the founder of Gayatri Namath Associates, and she is a distinguished architect from Bangalore, whose work has received both national and international recognition. Through her remarks, that her journey and insights will be a great source of inspiration for our students, especially for the young, inspiring architects and aspiring architects and designers of GSAP. Welcome you, madam. Yeah, please. I'm very happy that I have been associated with Gayatri madam from college days. Yeah, thank you.
Polite GSAPians and my colleagues, I'd like to present a brief and report about how we created this job. My non-association with Mr. Gopalan over 4 decades has made me to script and place. One of our discussions, I casually told them, you have done so much contribution in the field of constructing huge apartments, malls, hospitality area, and aerospace, and what? And you are a landmark in Bangalore. I told him, why not you do something about architecture? was done, personally constructed and supervised by none other than our great mother. I should be very thankful. Actually, here, he said that if I don't complete this, Murthy will blame me. That was the closeness with me and Mr. Gupta. Then, GSAP came into existence in the year 2014. And we have produced, we have created about 200 graduates so far who are doing exceptionally well in their profession in their city. And in the year 2020, we started Master of Architecture in Construction Project Management, and ours was second college in Karnataka, the first one is SAP. And I am happy to say the first batch got second rank in the meeting. After that, I am also happy to say we got consecutively 2 gold medals from BTU, and this year we are the toppers in all the different facilities of Master of Architecture. The second gold medals this year was passing out from the architecture days. The student of our own college, I thought there is some good stuff in her, she will bring the college good name. And she came through and she got the gold medal and she was the topper, 9.97 TGP. I'm extremely happy about that, 9.97. It's a great achievement. Kind of resolution. Before concluding, I should heartily acknowledge the excellent support given by Mr. Dr. Prabhakar, Dr. C. Pramod, who are also BMS College alumni, and to Sulika Prabhakar, who is a driving force now. And the infrastructure is of world class, I should say. I am also happy to say our college is only for students. Without students, we are not. Thank you all the best.
As we gather to celebrate this occasion, I'm Deepthi Aradega, Assistant Professor in Gopalan School of Architecture and Planning. We're honored to have with us today Chief Guest Architect Gayatri Shetty, co-founder and partner of Gayatri and Namit Architects, and a guest of honor, Principal of Gopalan International School, Mrs. Rajashri Nitin Chaudhary. We're thankful for taking out the time from your schedules to be with us here today. Women can be powerful and inspiring leaders, and our respected director Sunita Prabhakar stands as a shining example of this. Through her vision, dedication and constant encouragement, she continues to guide and strengthen our institution, inspiring both faculty and students to strive for excellence. In addition to her contribution to education, Mrs. Prabhakar is also in the helm of Gopalan Organics and serves on the Board of Trustees for People of Animals, an NGO dedicated to welfare and protection of people. Her commitment to sustainability, compassion and knowledge-driven future continues to inspire many of us. Despite her demanding schedule, she has taken the time to convey her warm wishes to the school on this occasion through a special message, which I will read out on her behalf. On the occasion of International Women's Day, it is my pleasure to welcome everyone to this program. Today is a celebration of strength, creativity and contributions in the field of architecture. We are privileged to have with us distinguished architects and women leaders whose work reflect excellence and innovation. I encourage each and every one of you to listen, learn and be inspired by their journey and experiences. As future architects, may you all, both young women and men, strive to create spaces that are not not just functional and beautiful, but also inclusive and meaningful. So this was the message conveyed by Sunita ma'am.
Respected Dean, GSAP, Professor Krishnamurthy sir, our distinguished chief guest for today, an eminent architect whose work continues to inspire creativity and innovation, respected Principal, GSAP, esteemed guests, other faculty members, and my dear students. Thank you for inviting me, and I'm truly honored to be a part of today's event, a special occasion as we celebrate with pride the International Women's Day. I believe today is not just a day of celebration but a day of inspiration, especially for the students who represent the future. It's very heartening to see that around the world, women have shown so much determination, courage, and creativity and have transformed dreams into reality. As women, and you, the young women of today, please learn to believe in your own ideas, your abilities, and your voice. Let outside voices not demotivate or lower your self-esteem. Keep in mind, the world needs your creativity, your compassion, and your leadership. Women, I believe, are gifted by nature to combine strategic assertiveness, decisive action, and robust emotional boundaries to turn compassion into a driving force for results and innovation. Having our chief guest with us today is especially meaningful. Architecture is a field that blends imagination with purpose, designing spaces that influence how people live, learn, and connect. On this special occasion, her work reminds us that just like strong foundations are essential for great structures, confidence and courage are the foundation of every woman's success. Ma'am, you inspire us to design our own paths, build our own dreams, and create a future without any limitations. I would also like to take this opportunity to acknowledge the constant encouragement and guidance of our respected director, Sunita Prabhakar ma'am, who is not present with us today, but definitely she has shared her best wishes, and whose leadership continues to create an environment where students are empowered to grow, explore their talents, and pursue excellence. She is not just a remarkable leader, but also a devoted mother, a caring wife, and a loving daughter, balancing every role with strength, grace, and compassion. Students, remember that progress happens when confidence meets opportunity. Support one another, lift each other, and never hesitate to pursue your dreams. Encouraging one another is one of the most powerful things we can do. A few kind words, a moment of support, or simply believing in someone can change their entire path. When women support women, we create a community where confidence grows, barriers break, and success multiplies. You know that every woman has her own story, her own struggles, and her own victories. So by listening, understanding, and uplifting each other, we build a stronger and a more inclusive world. So on this International Women's Day, let's celebrate the achievements of all the women, encourage one another, and commit ourselves to build a future where each and every one of us has the opportunity to succeed. Because when women rise, everyone rises. Thank you, and I wish everyone a very inspiring and empowering Women's Day. Thank you very much.
This opportunity to speak a few words on this wonderful occasion of celebration of International Women's Day. It is indeed very appropriate that an eminent architect of India, namely Architect Gayatri Shetty, is here with us today as the chief guest. Here I would like to mention about the Sustainable Development Goals that the United Nations forward in the year literacy of a country has to go up, if education levels have to go up, what is required is the education of women. It has been proven by scientific methods, because the moment a woman gets educated, there will be a total transformation of the family and the society. And in the case of architecture, women's contribution has been increasing day by day. Today, if you look at the statistics of the Council of Architecture, there are 69,000 male architects who are registered with the COA, and there are 62,000 women architects who have registered with the COA. And very shortly, the numbers are going to change, and women will be a majority in the registered architects of the Council of Architecture. And all of us are aware today in the education sector, majority of the teachers, majority of the students are women. And therefore, there is a change in the pattern for the better, for the betterment of architecture. And on this occasion, I would like to think about some of the greatest women architects of the world. And to my mind, Zaha Hadid is such a noted architect, rather was such a noted architect. Her contribution has left an indelible mark. And even today, that firm founded by her is doing wonderful work. I don't know how many of you have heard of Dennis Scott Brown, another very great South African American architect who has contributed a lot to architecture and planning. And when it comes to India, I can mention the names of several architects who have contributed substantially. Especially I can think of Revati Kamath, who contributed towards mud architecture and sustainability. Then we have Kena Patel, who has contributed a lot, Mumbai-based architect, who has contributed a lot to interior architecture. And in Karnataka alone, there are several great women architects, of course, led by architect Gayatri Shetty. We have Renu Mistry, who has done such great works. We have Aparna Narasimhan, who is a partner of Venkatramanan Associates. We have architect Nalini Kembavi in the north of Karnataka, who has done such a great job towards architecture. And closer to Karnataka, we have Sheila Sai Prakash, Chennai-based architect, Sujata Shankar. Then I should also mention Anupama Kundu of Auroville, who has contributed so much to sustainability. There are several such great women architects of India who have been contributing to architecture. There are two special contributions of women architects to architecture. One is that of sustainability. They have a special interest in the area of sustainability, and architect Gayatri Shetty herself, I am familiar with many of her projects. She has contributed to that area. The second aspect where the women architects are contributing a lot is to inclusivity in architecture. How do we ensure that architecture serves people of all ages, people of different capabilities? What is called universal design. That means any building has to be made usable by all types of people, irrespective of their abilities, physical or mental abilities. That area their contribution is very significant. And also the point of gender in architecture. How do we make spaces accessible to both genders or all genders in an urban area? How do we ensure that open spaces, public spaces, buildings at all times of the day and night, there should be accessibility to all genders? Now, in this area also the contribution of women architects has been very significant. Thank you very much.
The dignitaries to remain on stage. Thank you, ma'am. Among us, we have architect Utpala Kiran, the MR Gold medalist whose outstanding academic excellence and dedication to architecture has earned her this remarkable. Utpala has been an inspiring example and set a high benchmark for achievement within the institute. I request all the dignitaries to come forward to facilitate architect Utpala Kiran.
Hello friends, I do have a presentation which I will, your principal, Dr. Rama and me and Dr. Anand Krishna, we all were part of the first batch of architecture students. So, sir was our professor. Wonderful journey of learning almost on every day and every site. We never thought twice about asking a carpenter or a mason as to what he was doing and how one would need to do a particular job or mix of certain cement or plaster or anything like that. So I would like to add here that as budding designers, as budding architects, I think you need to go out on site, learn, touch and feel material, be there on site, understand things and learn really at that level so that, at any point in time, somewhere during your practice, it will definitely be of use to you. So I just going to start with some of the projects. We'll start with some early projects and go through. So just wanted to say, Rama, please tell me if I'm going too slow. Okay. So when we started GNA, Namit Verma, my partner who's from Manipal, and me from BMS, decided that ours was going to be a all-encompassing kind of a project. So we decided to even do a certain amount of social work right from day one, which is where we got into tribal housing with BR Hills, and there is a story, with BR Hills itself and Dr. Sudarshan. So just wanted to say that we were looking at, so the point was just to kind of talk about this a bit. You see there is heritage and conservation, which is, we have a vertical where Sharath Chandra, who has been in Hampi for a very long time, almost 25 years plus he's been there. He now is in Mysore and he's doing a lot of work with conservation itself, with the palace and a lot of traditional buildings there. We also believe in art and culture, so I was very happy to see the Bharatanatyam that was being performed over here too, which has been forgotten for a certain amount of time, I guess, in the years up to now. We also look at, of course, looking at organic living and slow living. When we are in this world which is so fast, you need to take a couple of steps back. So we have invested in a place close to Mysore, which has a farm surrounding, and of course the intent is to really have students come help in different kinds of building new technologies and things like that. It is a dream, but we hope to establish that sooner or later. So this is Sringeri Vedic Pathashala. The interesting thing about this is that before sustainability and green architecture was a buzzword, we did this plan where we segregated the buildings because there were trees in between. We let the trees actually go through some of the corridor spaces, and the building made place for the trees rather than the other way round. So this was something that we totally enjoyed because it was also with the traditional architecture of the area as well. So there were things that we took into consideration. This was a Vedic Pathashala. So the students would really be sitting at the floor level itself. So we looked at ventilation, which is very key in this part of the country because it's extremely humid. So when students are sitting or when teaching is being imparted, when people are sitting on the floor, we wanted the breeze to act. We also got at that time a lot of building material from sites of demolished homes close by to kind of help put this in place. So you can see students here as to how they dress for the climate of that area and also their way of studying. So we're just trying to show how the practice has evolved. This is a white and wood villa, which basically we have very strong concepts of light and ventilation, and we believe that any space should have maximum ventilation, and it brings in the real energy of the place, of the world, I would say, or the earth. But the skin, so to say, can have different ways. Here we wanted to make it just try experimental, where we are using only white and very organic kind of finishes for the wall. But the forms were interesting. It was right in front. It was in one of the busy streets of a residential locality. So this is a balcony which faces, the road. But we created that privacy by, lifting the walls up to a certain level, which helped both the elevation and also created a sense of privacy for one of the bedrooms which were right here. Also, it has a picture window which is, has the green which is enjoyed both from the inside as well as from the outside itself. So once you come in, the whole place opens up to the garden. We had looked at a large open space for the living, dining, and created a space with a veranda, so that Bangalore, being Bangalore with its climate, a lot of veranda living happens. So this is what we wanted to encourage over here also. And in most of our residential projects, we like to do that because it is something that you can really enjoy, unlike places like Delhi, where everything is more or less, in air-conditioned, rooms or living. So this is what it looks like. So you can either come out or you can open the entire thing out and, use the entire space as one space. With artists and sculptors to create some of these works. Another interesting element that I wanted to bring out over here was the dining table, if you see, is a slice of solid wood. And what we did was we went to one of the sawmills and actually chose a huge tree trunk and sliced it into 4 or 5 different sizes. And because of the trunk, we had obviously thinner ones and wider ones, and we used them accordingly. So we got a dining table, we got a counter, a double counter for the master toilet. We got an area for a spa, and we got some amount of smaller side tables as well. So and this bar counter also. So what was interesting was to use that one piece and see how we could kind of make use of it in different ways. Also, since the table is as heavy as it is, we wanted it to kind of be rooted right there. And what we did for that was to convert the railing itself into a seat. So the seat is not loose, the railing becomes a seat for the table on one side, whereas you have other seating on the other side as well. This is the ground floor, and you have a basement area where you have some amount of an entertainment space and storage and things like that. This is what it looks like. And the idea was to keep it only to wood and white. So using just two materials, one can create a lot of effect and drama as well. So this is one of the counters which is, over here as well, which we, did in a slightly darker shade. This is a more recent project, and here what we did was to try and use very, again, traditional methods of construction. So we have here, the plaster finishes are very different. We have used lime over here, we've used natural stone here. This house belongs to Sudhir and Gauri, who are now directors of the firm. They've been with us for 29 to 30 years of our practice. So it's a wonderful home that they have designed for themselves on the same principles, which is very open, very airy, but at the same time has a lot of personality and character. The flooring also is cement floor, and you have different elements. You see the natural stone which appears in various places, and the staircase also is very unique over here. Customized light fixtures and various spaces were done specifically to kind of suit this space. These light fixtures are almost 5 feet in size, between 4 and 5 feet in size, and it was meant to create an effect. So we have metal, the staircases. We like to play around with staircases if you see our projects. So, it's not necessary that from step 1 to the final step that all of it has to be identical. We break it up into different combinations. Here you can see the steps going up to the study is more in metal, whereas the rest of it is concrete with wood as a finish. So you can see the rawness of the stone as against the softness of the floor. So you see wood again being used here as the headboard in this particular case, master bedroom. Even the wardrobes and the handles of the wardrobes were all customized with doing some kind of floral carving work, of which the design was also given by us. So this is Jaguar corporate office, and if the college goes to Delhi, I feel please make it a point to go and see it, because and I can always kind of talk to Jaguar to let you study this building. Even otherwise, just as a visit, it's a wonderful project. It's I'm just going to be very brief about it, because it has many different firsts to it. It was one of the first net zero buildings in the country, and it took us a lot more time than we expected, because the structure was also complicated. We had a staggered slab that cantilevered out on each level. If you see over here, it cantilevers out 10 meters, by the time between every alternate slab. So it's quite a complicated structure. Also, second thing that I want to bring to your notice is that what we did was, this is an industrial site. So we had to have a certain amount of industry over here, which is happening at the lower 2 floors. So there is manufacture and packaging which is happening at the actual ground level, really. So you have a road that goes into this area for this, and for to service the manufacturing area. What we also did was, the level above that, which becomes the corporate office face of Jaguar, was lifted by 2 stories up. So it was up by around almost 30 feet from here to here, and we raised the entire thing so that as you enter this space and you drive up like this, you come up to actually the 3rd level. So you have a wonderful landscape. Jaguar is all about water, so we created various water bodies all over. This is a very organic one, but within the inside there are a lot of water bodies as well. So externally we had mirror pool where you would see the reflections. We also wanted it to be like a eagle in flight, so that the aspirations of Jaguar being a introduction to people from outside India also get an introduction to a certain amount of the art that is contemporary art that has been done over here. So different facilities. This is also a very interesting part of Jaguar. In the ground floor, Michael Foley, very much from Bangalore, has actually put this together as an experience center, which shows the history of the company and finally comes through where you actually walk through this finally, which seems like drops of water and rain. As architects, we wanted it for rain to actually fall and have it in such a way that people would walk and the rain would stop, but the clients didn't want to take that chance, saying that in case it didn't work, then they'd have some of their guests very wet. So this was the next best thing. This is one of the projects in Indiranagar. You might have seen it on the main road. What was interesting about this is it's a showroom cum office space, and because it's a landscape product, it is all about driveways and pathway material. We said that we should give the whole building or the interiors also, an energy that showcases landscape. So right through we have, landscape that interacts with the interior of the building. And this is seen, this is like an internal court, and you have a series of sculptures which are here, which interact as you move from one floor to the other. This is as you enter the building, you have this as an entrance feature. And we created the flooring in such a way that we used their material, and we made the furniture also such that it kind of blends with forms, etc. This is where we showcase their history here in a timeline. And what we did was, it's a building facing west. So we were, of course, wondering how to kind of cut the, the sun that was coming into the building. So what we did was we kind of had this green kind of a corridor right in front, so that one is, of course, it was beautiful to see the trees which were, at the first floor level and the second floor level, where you saw the treetops. But this behaved like a little barrier to cut down, the sun coming into the building as such. This is the terrace floor where, the directors, the promoters really sit and, entertain their, not only their guests, but also their, designers and vendors as well, their clients. This is also at the terrace level. And the idea, like I said, was to give the feel of landscape throughout the building. This is a recent project, and it was shortlisted for the World Architecture Festival, which is a training center for Bosch India. Now the architecture also was done by GNA, but we had to work with the German counterparts of Bosch, and as you know, Germans are very particular about their straight lines and the way they want their, there is a rigidity in their architecture that they, would like to follow. So we worked with them on that. Of course, there was, you don't really see the external elevation on the other side, but this is the internal one, which we felt when we were doing the interiors to kind of make it a lot more softer by giving some amount of art and opening it out into the landscape over here. So centrally there is a water body, and you can see the art that starts right from the first, the top floor itself, really engulfs this area because this is an area that people keep coming out from these conference rooms too. And there is an outdoor kind of a dining space, and this is the residential area. Sorry, there was supposed to be a video which I couldn't attach. This is the landscape over here that's caught up, and it's kind of very refreshing even though you're in a very busy area. This is the dining area and some of the lounge areas. Again, a lot of veranda spaces that people can sit in, and between bouts of sitting within the conference rooms over here. So here what we thought was that people from all over the country are coming to for training to this place. Not too many of us to go to study on mandalas and various forms of which are Vedic principles. So of course we brought in art. This is Robert Bosch's bust, and these are some of the rooms on the inside. This is of course Gauri, who's sitting here. But we had different kinds of meeting rooms. We had rooms which had a different flow to it, and to make things easy there were 25 conference rooms. So instead of numbering them, Bosch has a way of cataloging rooms and buildings. They just give it numbers, so we wanted to move away from that. So what we did was we said each room could be a state. So we gave the art of that particular state, and so people could kind of relate to it easily. Also smaller meeting rooms, again we wanted to bring in some amount of spiritualism into these spaces so that people could read and kind of absorb. Somebody actually goes all the way to the end where the presidential villa is, and each of these are cottages for a single occupancy or for 2 people, and 2 cottages separately. So we have the room at the upper level, and at the lower level we have a home theatre space and a little barley with a swimming pool. So in India we really prefer to be away from the sun and not too much, especially during the day. So we created this space which is known as a ballet in Bali, which has a small minibar behind, and so the family, young children can always rest over here after being in the pool for a certain amount of time. Different views. This is what the room looks like, and this is what I was saying, that created privacy for each of these, where each of them had a contained unit with a wall and a lot of greenery around. Some of the interiors. The interiors are done by Shanaz. This is another project that we did. Again, I'm going to rush through this. It's done in BR Hills for Dr. Sudarshan. And here, this was a great exercise in using different kinds of materials. So we try to use as local as possible, including the thatch and the stonework that you see over here. Also, the structures were meant to rest very lightly and not really sitting on the ground, so that the insects and your creepy crawlies could still go about under the building rather than be thwarted by it as such. This is the spa area where the water fills up only during the monsoon. So only during the dry season you don't have water over there. Okay, I'm not going to talk too much about this. The little loft was created for each of it, and you can see the railing over here was meant to look like twigs of the trees and things like that. This is another resort that we've done. This is in Andhra Pradesh, and here the client had absolute green fingers. He would be able to kind of convert any small dry patch into wonderful green spaces, and even water bodies. If you see this particular leaf, these leaves are anything which amazonite, I think it's known as, where the leaves, it is from South America, and these leaves grow to a size of 4 feet in diameter. This is the next unit that we're doing for them. Some site images. This is in front of the Godavari. This is something that we've done in Coorg. Also here we created our own view rather than, because Marriott really wanted to compete with the Taj. The Taj has a wonderful view. Their experience as soon as you enter is having pool and a fabulous valley view. So here they wanted to create it within their own space, and that's what we did for them. So this one is what we won the recent WAF for. It was came under the future category, and it is a project that we are very proud of, and it is a public project for the people of Bangalore. Hopefully within the next 3-4 months it should open to public, but what it is the NGF campus, and what you see here is actually their cycle stand. And this was a shell roof which was there previously. People used to come here, put their cycles here, climb up here, go through this, gate where they, marked their attendance and went through. So we've created this as an entrance plaza for people to hang out around over here. The trees are wonderful, so we've called it a tree park for now, and created, a space where Bangaloreans, people of all ages, can actually go and use the space for at least, we hope for at least a whole day. So we've created things like walkways which are all around. If you can see, this is a space that has been left locked and shut for 25 years. So all the trees and the greenery around has really taken over. The trees are very beautiful. So this is what we want to do. We want to create this cycle park is, what it is, and we want to use, just artwork to kind of enhance that space, but otherwise keep the structure as it is. So people can walk in, sit down, create some small workshops. We've, on a lot of architectural travel, we've seen how young children come in, sketch. In our country, most of the time it's only the architecture students and probably the, students who are in art, fine arts, who kind of go sketching. But in countries like Japan, you'll see even toddlers are there with their book, pencils and crayons, and that is what we thought would be a nice thing to happen for our children over here as well. So this is the final slide, which is the entire team. I have to say, nothing is possible alone. It's the team that matters, and when you have an inclusive set of people, we have a wonderful set of men and women in our team. We always have a lot of interns also. I'm not sure whether we've had kids from Gopalan as well. I'm sure we have, but through the years. But we always take almost 10 to 12 interns every year, and we always have a lovely program with them for their learning and things like that. So that's it. Thank you so much. Once we actually get requirements, then we sit down to start planning. It's been some time, but at one time we used to have a lot of interaction, where we used to talk, bring the whole office together and have a brainstorming as to the first set of designs that were coming out. And there were lots of times that people came up with some wonderful ideas which were incorporated. Today there's a race for time, so there's a shortage of doing that. But otherwise, that's how we start before we get to the first presentation. projects, it shouldn't just be building and it just shouldn't be interiors, and that we should have some amount of both contemporary art and traditional art, and also craft which is in a contemporary setting. And there are hundreds of examples, and we haven't even scratched the surface. So in fact, during COVID, 3 of us architects got together and started something called Priyantraka, which is a body that connects with artists and connects with architects. So, if they are designing something with a particular craft in mind, whether it is Chalapatna or Bidri or Market Tree and things like that, we help them get it executed. So, we want to encourage all designers to get to that stage of using a lot of our craft, which can be wonderfully portrayed in contemporary design settings. But we take that effort, make that effort to find the people.
First year, like we have seen in your many of the projects you have done terrace gardening, like gardening on the terrace and water bodies on the terrace. Like what is the specific material you are using or how it is constructed on the terrace of the water body?
Yeah. So that's a great question, because every time we say we want a water body, then clients are automatically saying, oh my god, what about the waterproofing and what about the leakages and things like that. So we initially did face a lot of problems, but now we do at least 2 or 3 layers of waterproofing. So it could be either one layer of just first kadapa, so that you have one layer. Then we do, sometimes we do, like a membrane waterproofing, and over that we do a 3rd layer of waterproofing, so that at any point in time you don't have water getting into the building. Of course, it's not 100% sure that you won't get water. Sometimes we still get some wet patch that we need to work out. But the key is to really keep, we've even done swimming pools on the terrace, but what we do is we keep a gap, so that for some reason if there is a little bit of a leak at some point, it is then, it runs off through the terrace slope that is there and into the rainwater piping. Yeah, answers your question.
It was very insightful session actually. Thank you so much. The first year students had just started the residential design with pavilion, the small pavilion, according to their technology, because they are having their own occupation. Every student having their own occupation. The clients is having like architect house, the painter, sculptor, someone is doing the farmhouse and everything. Can you give some of the tips for them to how to go on? Now they have started the design of pavilion now. So can you just give some tips for them, because they are just in the beginning stage, they budding architects.
So I think it's, of course in a residential building you have typical rooms that you have to provide for. But in today's world things are also very different. It has to be a lot more open. You need to really, the days of having a formal living and an informal living are all gone. It's all one large space that the family gets together. The lady of the house has to be very much a part of this energy, whether the family is watching TV or whatever. So that interaction, rather than isolation, is important. Secondly, when you're talking about a person being, say, a painter or a craftsman, an architect, whatever, the studio part of it is also an interesting thing that can happen, and there are multiple ways of doing it. You can have it, say, on a terrace level, which has its quiet moments, or you can come out into a terrace area where you can have that pavilion where people can meet together, and it also becomes multi-purpose because the entertainment also can happen there, or it can become a space that also be used for yoga, and things like that. Otherwise, you can also have it in the basement area, and there are spaces where from say a basement area we have carved out a garden area in the basement. So what happens is you get a lot of light coming into that basement. sitting there or eating there or, sleeping there, because it was all about everything was done on the floor, or just enclosed and kept aside. But now, with progress, we have followed the Western system, and the house dictates where we should be, So whether we should be, if we have to be eating, we only have to be in the dining area. Of course, now today TV is the central area for everything, but it's interesting to see that concept, to think about that concept.
Good evening, ma'am.
Okay.
I have a question. Like, you'll be taking contracts, so different ideas. So you'll be getting it. Like, they will be like the demands will be different. Like, I have this type, I need this type. At the moment, they will be changing, so it will be confusing.
I think it depends on what you're totally convinced about. A lot of clients come to us and say we want to see 3 options, 4 options and things like that. Sometimes you may have to give those 3 options, but obviously you will be convinced about one particular option which you think is best suited for the site. So it depends on how much of detail and how well you can convince a person or convince yourself first on what is best for that particular site. So I think once you do that and once you're convinced yourself, then it is very easy to convince a client.
Okay, ma'am. Lady, I have a question regarding the project that you had presented about the multiple levels, like where you had broken down the staircase into different levels, like a very interesting design. But in today's context, like, do you have clients who are, are you able to convince them to such an idea? Because in the latest, the current context, we see people, incorporating the technology, like having a lift system inside their houses where they are not, and when we try to include the universal usage of those people. So, do you really find any challenges in that? Does it affect our design idea in creating the spaces?
So, I'm actually that is not a deterrent, because what happens is even though the site may be smaller or larger, and maybe the client or couple is much younger with young children, we as architects do suggest that you should have a provision for a lift, whether it is to be sometimes elderly parents are also with them, and we always create some kind of a space for them to get together, like entertainment space for the time, especially if they're in South India, weather is so much better where you can kind of be out. But depends, in fact even in Delhi we have done that. But it is important, you're very right, it is important to have that lift or provision for the lift. In a lot of areas the lift shaft is not used. It's part of a central court, and it is not used till such time that it is required. And sometimes it is maybe 10-15 years later. But it is provided for in the master plan, and I think that is important to consider. Also, what we do is we give the master bedroom both, in the ground floor and the first floor, almost similar in size, so that tomorrow from the first floor, if they have to move down to the ground floor, people have that, opportunity. But when there are lifts, they can go to any floor.
So that's what, when we have this multiple levels, so where even the lifts we cannot stop. So how is the design usage? Does it hinder our